and almost use your arms to sit nice and tall, drawing the shoulders down and back. You're going to take a nice deep breath in. On an exhale, you're going to start scooping that spine, tucking the tailbone underneath you and pulling pubic bone to nose, soft shoulders. Keep the chin off the chest. Inhale. Exhale to scoop the spine, sitting back onto those sitting bones and grow nice and tall. You're going for 4 more. Exhale to scoop for 4. Inhale there. Exhale, drawing into the abdominals, and then inhaling, sitting nice and tall. Go for 3 more. Exhale to scoop for 3. Inhale. Exhale, round that spine. And inhale to grow nice and tall, sticking out that chest towards the front. And go for 2 more. Exhale to round for 2. Inhale there. Exhale to curl. Inhale to grow tall. Last one, we're going to scoop and round. And you're going to slide those hands down, the leg is guiding you all the way down to lie onto your back and bring the hands to the sides. You can draw those heels towards the glutes a bit more, take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, we're going to pull the lower back gently into the mat by closing the space and start lifting up the pelvis, the lower back, the mid back, the upper back, and draw into those glutes. Take a nice deep breath in. Really think about those heels drawing back to the glutes. Imagine that little wall behind your heels and sink your spine, unrolling the hips, and then pubic bone drop down in between legs. We're going to go for 6 of these, so we're going to go 5 more. Exhale to scoop and lift, pressing that pelvis up. Take a nice deep breath in, and on your exhale, sink that spine and release your hips back towards the mat. So you're creating that little space between the lower back and the mat. And we're going to go for last 4. Exhale, tuck pubic bone to nose, grounding through each of the toes. Almost imagine a small tennis ball in between those knees that you're slightly squeezing into, but the knees don't touch. And exhale to gently press the arms, rolling each vertebra to the mat and unroll your hips. Last 3. Exhale to tuck and scoop and lift. Inhale there. Exhale, we melt the spine back down and release the hips gently at the bottom, unrolling pubic bone between legs. And you're going to go for last 2. Give that little contraction through your glutes. Take a nice deep breath in. And on your exhale, rolling those hips back down at the bottom and releasing it all. Do one last one. Exhale to tuck pubic bone to nose, pressing that pelvis up. Take an inhale there. And on your exhale, sink your spine and release into your mat. We're then going to find that neutral pelvis, so neutral. So you've got your 2 hip bones and the pubic bone. So you want, if you had to imagine a little glass of water, you want that water to be upright. So we're not completely closing the space and we're not giving a nice big active anterior tilt of the pelvis. So we've got just that slight tuck. Think about the ribs knitting together and pulling down towards the hips and draw into those TA muscles. So those little muscles just down past those hip bones and inwards. Take a nice deep breath in. We're going to exhale, keep drawing into those and lift your right leg to tabletop. You almost want to imagine now that your right leg is almost heavier than it really is. And we move from the hip as we tap the foot down. Forward on the inhale, exhale, we lift. Inhale to dab without letting those abdominals go, the pelvic floor go. Exhale to lift for 4. Inhale to tap. And exhale to lift and rise for 3. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift for 2. Inhale to lower. And exhale to lift for 1 last one. You then lower that foot towards your floor. Release it, ground the heel, still thinking actively pulling that heel back. And on an exhale, float that left leg up. We tap. Inhale. Keep grounding those hips. Imagine 2 little pegs pressing them down. And we go for last 4. Exhale for 4. Think shoulders drawing away from ears. So be conscious of the upper body for 3. Inhale, tap. and exhale, lift and rise for 2. We do one last one, and this time holding that left leg up. We make it a little bit harder, a little extra tuck of the ribs into the floor, draw a little bit more into those pelvic floor muscles, and float right leg to join left leg in tabletop. We're going to do alternating heel taps. So right leg goes down, inhale, exhale to float, hold steady. And we do the left side, and exhale up. Just 6 of these are through side. Going exhale, lift for 4. Tap, inhale, exhale, float for 3. Tap, inhale, exhale for 2. And finish it. Exhale for 1. Holding left leg up, float that right leg down. From here, we're going to reach opposite arm and leg. So press firmly down through the left arm to your side and it stays there. Right heel's grounded with that heel trying to tuck to your glute. You then turn that right palm to face in. And we're going to reach the arm just to the ceiling, in line with the shoulder as you extend your left leg forward, holding that stability. Exhale, tuck the leg to tabletop, bring the hand to tap to the side. We're going to go for last 4. You can also do 10 of these depending on how strong you feel, so do what you can. But we're going to go for 3 more, and exhale. 2 to go, keep a nice active point through that left foot, and exhale. And do one last one, inhale, and exhale. We lower the hand all the way down, the foot to the ground, keeping neutral, and we're going to float that right leg up. Turn that left palm to face in, and we inhale to stretch the left arm to the ceiling, right leg out, and exhale, bring the hand to the side and tuck that right leg back to tabletop. And you're going to go inhale and exhale, 4. Making sure that you're not dropping through the hips, you're keeping them planted. So 50-50 weight as much as you can. I'm going for 2 more, inhale and exhale. Once again, you can do 10 of these depending on how strong you feel and how connected you are. Last one, lower the hand all the way down and lowering that right leg towards the ground. From here, you do have options to keep your head heavy into your mat, and you'll be holding the corners of the mat with the elbows tucked as you lift your head and chest, almost using your mat as like if you had a hammock. Otherwise, we learn to interlace the hands with the thumbs running down the neck, the elbows slightly lifted. We in neutral, so remember your glass is upright. And on an exhale, keeping your head heavy into your hands, you're going to lift your head and your chest and come up into your chest lift, taking your gaze in between those legs. Exhale, inhale to pause here at the top, so it's a 2 breath movement, and lower back down. Exhale to find your floating, inhale to pause, and exhale to drop back down. I still want you to think activity through the legs, so you're digging those heels down, drawing them back to the glutes. Exhale, inhale here, and exhale to drop back down. And let's go now for last 6. Inhale there, look forward, and inhale to pause, maybe lift a little bit higher, pull ribs to hips, and exhale to drop back down. And you're going to go for 5, exhale, lifting 5, inhale there, and exhale to lower it all the way back down. And you're going to go for 4 more, exhale, lift for 4, inhale there, keep pressing through each of the toes, and exhale to lower it back down. And go for 3 more, exhale, float for 3, remember head heavy back into those hands, and exhale back down. And go for last 2, exhale to lift for 2, inhale, and exhale to sink it back down. We do one last one, exhale to lift and rise, inhale to pause, maybe lift that little bit higher, and exhale to drop it all the way back down. Gently release the hands to the sides and gently just turn your neck from side to side. As you get stronger, you won't feel your neck, and you shouldn't feel your neck if you weren't pulling onto it. One last one, rolling to the side and coming back to the center. Bring those hands to your head again with those thumbs running down your neck. We're going to add a little rotation through that chest lift. So inhale, find your prep breath. On an exhale, lift your head and chest. Now we really think about planting those hips. The rotation comes throughout the thoracic spine as we twist off to one side. So as you twist right, the left hip stays down. Inhale, return to center. Exhale, you're going to rotate the opposite way. And inhale to come to middle. We're doing 6 here, so keeping the height of the chest. You can go in between, down in between each rep for 4. And exhale, rotate up and across 3. Exhale, as you twist left, press that right hip down for 2. And exhale to rotate 1 more. Inhale to return to center. And exhale to lower the head and chest all the way down. Lifting those legs up, hugging them towards the chest, relaxing the feet, maybe giving the ankles a little bit of a roll, the shoulders a little bit of a roll. Take a nice deep breath and squeeze those knees in. And exhale, release those feet towards the floor again. We're going to float your left leg to tabletop. You're going to really press through the right leg now, keeping a little tuck in the tailbone so we're not articulating up, we're holding neutral. You're going to press your hips up, contracting through that right glute and hamstring, keeping that left knee in line with the hip, and inhale to go and dab the pelvis, the glutes back down. Let's go, exhale, lift for 4, and inhale to drop and lower. Press through the arms, open across the chest for 3, and inhale, down you go. And exhale, press and lift for 2 more. Inhale, slowly back down. And do one last one this side. Exhale to press, make sure you're not tensing through the shoulders, and lower it all the way back down. Lower that left leg down, plant the heel, have that pulling sensation of the heel back as we bring right leg to tabletop. Exhale, we press through the left, and inhale to lower it down. Think in the center for 4, and inhale to lower. And exhale, press for 3, and drop it down. Feel that left glute hamstring work. Exhale for 2, and inhale to lower. And exhale, press and lift for 1 more, and inhale to lower it all the way down. Once again, giving those knees nice hugging towards the chest. And you can either press yourself up or lift your head and chest into a little ball, wrap those hands behind the thighs, and rock yourself up to seated. We're moving into a 4-point kneeling position. So you've got those hands directly underneath the shoulders, and the knees underneath the hips. We're pressing the tops of the feet and the shins nice and flat. Spread all the fingers apart. You want to imagine a little orange between your knees that you're trying to squeeze into. So we're not in an anterior tilt here, so you're not dropping the belly. We're doing a little tuck of that tailbone under you. You're pressing through your shoulder blades, you're slightly lifting your chin off your chest, so you're looking almost to the front edge of your mat, but you're not overly extending the neck. So we've still got that eye line down. From here, you're going to take a nice deep breath in. As you reach your left leg back behind you, imagine something balancing on your back, reaching it off the ground, but you're also not hanging to the right. And exhale to tuck the leg in for 5. Inhale to extend, and exhale, tuck for 4. Holding that stability, a lift of the heart, the chest. Inhale, and exhale for 3. Inhale to reach. Exhale for 2. Inhale to reach. Exhale, tuck and land that left leg, last one. Shifting the weight slightly to the left, but still thinking pelvis in the middle. Almost think fire underneath the chest, like you're pressing off the ground, but without rounding that upper back. So still elevating the breastbone, the heart forward. We stretch the right leg back on an inhale, and exhale to tuck for 5. Once again, you can do 10 aside. If you're feeling good, exhale for 4. Keep actively pressing the top of that left foot shin down. Exhale for 3. Inhale to reach. Exhale, tuck for 2. 1 more. We're going to hold it here, and we're going to reach now. Left hand across to right shoulder, holding that balance to the right hand, left knee. and exhale to cross. Then right shoulder drawing away from the ear, going for 3, exhale across for 2, exhale across for 1, land the hand down, tuck the leg in, shift the weight to the right, let's go try it on the left. Reaching that left leg out, and we take right hand to left shoulder. So you really want to think that shoulder drawing down, activating through that little serratus and lat on the left. And we go again. Exhale for 4, inhale, return the hand down. Exhale for 3, and tap for 2, and do one last one, and bring the hand to the ground and tuck that leg in. That's it. We're going to reach the opposite arm and leg now. So inhale, stretch left leg back, right arm up and forward, and exhale to bring it down. We're going to alternate it. So shift the weight to the left knee as we reach the left arm, the right leg, and exhale in. We're going to go for 4 more, but you can do almost like 12, so it becomes 6 aside if you would like. For 4, really focus on the connection and what the pelvis is doing. For 3, inhale to reach. Exhale for 2, we pick up that leg by clenching the glute, opening in the front of the hip. And one last one, and tuck it in. Open your knees nice and wide, bring your toes to touch as you extend the chest down and the arms forward into a little child's pose. Take a nice deep breath in, feel the belly expand. On your exhale, we're going to press you back to that 4-point kneeling position. Right, from here, we're going to turn you onto your side. We're going to do a little bit of a glute series and then some lateral flexion. So lying all the way down onto your right side, rolling that top shoulder back, bringing the knees and feet on top of one another. You're going to squeeze your heels together. Make sure this top hip bone is lengthening, so we're not shortening into it. We want to lengthen it. Almost create almost like a little space, if we can, between the mat and your waistline. Without rolling your hips back, so you can imagine almost like a little electric fence behind you that you don't want to roll into. We keep the hips stacked. Imagine balancing something here on the top of your hip, and open top knee from bottom. For 10, squeeze open 9, exhale open 8 with the eye line straight ahead of you, open for 7, and squeeze for 6, and exhale open 5, and exhale squeeze open for 4, and exhale for 3, and exhale squeeze the heels, clench the glutes at the top, 2, and do one last one. You're going to keep that bottom knee bent, and you're going to extend your top leg long, point your toes, extend that leg out of that hip joint, lift it up to in line with the hip, and we move the leg forward without changing the shape of the spine. Exhale, press the leg back. Just for 6, keep pushing the bottom leg down for stability, rolling this top shoulder open for posture higher up. For 5, exhale, press for 4, inhale forward, reach the leg long, exhale, contract the glute, opening the front of the hip for 3, inhale, exhale for 2, do one last one, exhale to press, move the leg forward, almost let the foot become floppy at the end of the leg, and we dab the big toe and we lift, and we still lengthening, we haven't hiked into that hip, and go for just 4 more, exhale, lift 3, exhale, up 2, exhale, 1 more, point the toes, press the leg back, and tuck that leg in. You're going to extend the legs out ahead of you. You're going to keep this top hand in front of you for balance. We think keep reaching top leg longer than bottom, and on an exhale, coming into your side lift, and inhale to drop down for 6. Exhale for that lateral flexion for 5. Exhale for 4. Keep looking straight ahead of you for 3. Try not to look down at the toes for 2. And exhale for that side work. One last one, and lower it down. Those previous glute ones that we just did with the knees bent and the leg long, you can progress that to be on your elbow and this hand onto your hip. pressing through the shoulder, thinking elbow tucking in and holding your hip up into the air whilst you do those 3 movements. So you can do it like that, and then obviously add your drop and lift at the end of those 3 movements. So there are progressions. You will then have a little pause to the video. You're going to turn over and go 6, 6, 6 on the opposite side, and then your side lifts for 6. Once you have done that, you can press play again, and you will turn onto the belly to end you off in your extension. So you will roll over, and we're going to bring those hands to almost frame the face. Take the elbows quite wide so that you're not squashed up into those shoulders. Let your nose hover just above the floor. Contract your legs together like you're holding a thin piece of paper between the heels and the knees. You've been contracting your glutes. And imagine that you're trying to almost pull yourself forward so your elbows are drawing down towards the feet. Now imagine a little marble underneath your nose. You're going to roll that marble forward so you slightly lift your eye. Then press your arms and use your back extensors to look up and forward even more. Pull those shoulders down and back. Exhale, drop the breastbone, the chin, and imagine pulling that marble slightly back in. Inhale to rise. For 4 more. Exhale to lower. Feel as though you're pulling yourself forward. For 3. And exhale to drop. Press through the hands, the elbows for 2. Inhale and exhale to lower. One last one. Inhale to lift, and we hold for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Squeeze between your shoulder blades. Inhale and exhale to release it down. Press through your hands and push back into your rest position. So big toes to touch, knees nice and wide, extending the arms down and the chest down in between those arms. Take a nice deep breath in into the belly. And exhale to side out. On your next exhale, we're going to press you forward, returning onto those hands and knees, hand underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. A gentle rest of the shins, the tops of the feet into the floor. Take a nice deep breath in, and on the exhale, pulling up into that nice spinal flexion. Cat-cow. Inhale like a little spinal wave. Drop the belly, roll shoulders back, and look out and ahead of you. Going for just 2 more. Exhale to round. And inhale to drop belly, tailbone to the sky, chest shines up and forward. Then we're going to do one last one. Exhale to draw chin to chest and scoop it up. Inhale to drop the belly to the floor, rolling the shoulders down and back.